Hello and welcome to class. In today's class, we are going to be looking at Introduction to Human Nutrition and Dietetics. But before going deeply into the course, I would like to introduce myself for some of you who may not know who I am. My name is Adekunle Deborah Oluwafemi. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, a member of the Institute of Dietetics in Nigeria, and I'm also a lecturer. I've organized this course to help nutrition students like you to better understand the concept of human nutrition and dietetics, because I've discovered that over the years, a lot of students have issues with really understanding what this course is all about. Majority of us find ourselves studying this course and we just try to struggle or manage along without really understanding what is being taught. And there are also times that probably our lecturer has taught us in class. There may be one thing or the other that you don't understand. And then some of us, most students, you find out that most times they are shy to even ask their lecturers questions. Like the normal thing in class, when your lecturer asks, do you understand? Yes. Sometimes they're even hungry, you just want to leave class and you don't even understand what the lecturer has taught you. But because you want to leave, you're in a hurry to leave, you just say yes, which is the normal thing that students do. So that's the essence of bringing this course to you, for you to better understand what is being taught. So today, like I said, we are going to be looking at the introductory part of human nutrition and dietetics. But it will only be right for us to first understand what human nutrition and dietetics is all about. Let's have a brief overview of what the course is all about or what it entails. When we talk about humans, all of us are human beings. Me that I'm talking to you today, I'm a human being. Just like you're a human being, your friends, your mom, your dad, your family members, they are all human beings. I believe that is relatable to all of us, and we all know what humans are. Then let's move to the next terminology, nutrition and dietetics. What is nutrition and dietetics? From the word nutrition, I believe we should have a little idea of what nutrition is all about, because we are all, I want to assume that majority of us are science students. And in your secondary school, you would have been taught something about nutrition. We all know that nutrition has to do with food. Yes. In a layman's term, nutrition is just about food and eating. And then that food you eat, what is the effect of eating that food on your body? In plain terms, that is what nutrition is all about. So human nutrition and dietetics has to do with the impact or the effect of the food that you eat on your body. Now, this effect can be in two ways. It can either be good or bad. But what human nutrition is all about is it wants to study that food you eat. What impact is this food having on your body? So that's just a short introduction to what human nutrition and dietetics is all about. So as we go further in this course, we are going to better understand what the course is all about and everything that it entails. So let me share my screen. Let's proceed so that we can move forward to the next slide. We have a definition of terminology. So here we are going to be looking at some of the common terminologies that are used in human nutrition and dietetics. In fact, in nutrition as a whole, these terminologies I'm going to be explaining to you, you are going to be coming across them in other courses, not only in human nutrition, but in other courses that you are going to be doing as you proceed along in this course of study. So it is important for you as a beginner to understand what this term, because then later be lost. When they are talking of food, nutrients, you won't be wondering what they are talking about, and you'll be able to easily flow along with the course. So the first terminology I have here on my slide is food. Yes, food. Food, as simple as it is something that if you go to a layman and ask what is food, you see that some of them will even pause a bit before they can answer you. And I'm sure everybody feels like they understand or they know what food is, but do we really know the meaning of food? So if I ask you what is food, I want you to take a second or a minute to reflect on that question. What is food? Then for my slide here, I have here that food is any substance that is derived from plants and animals and is consumed to provide nutritional support for an organism. Now let's break down this definition so that we can better understand what we are talking about. I said food is any substance. Note that, hold that in your hand, derived from plants and animals. So when we say food is a substance derived from plants and animals, it means food is a substance that we can get from either plants or animals. Foods that are gotten from plants, we have our rice, we have beans, we have yam, we have potato, and so on. And we also have foods that are gotten from animals. Example of foods gotten from animals are fish, meat, egg, and so on. And I'm sure a lot of us are eating food today. You've either taken a food from plant, a food that is plant-based, or a food that is animal-based, or you've even combined the two. For example, now if you, let's say you ate rice and beans I read this morning, that means you're eating a food from plant source and also a food from animal source. So I believe you understand that. It now says in the definition that it is consumed to provide nutritional support for an organism. That word nutritional support is very important for us to know. For anything you eat, for any substance you eat to be a food, it must provide nutritional support for that organism. If you eat anything and it does not provide you with nutritional support, then that substance is not fit to be called a food. When we talk of nutritional support, what do we mean? It means that it provides us with nutrients that allows us to what? To grow, that allows us to what? To survive, that allows us to carry out our day-to-day activities. That is what nutritional support is all about. So when we talk of nutritional support means the substance is able to make you grow, it develops your body, it supports you, it maintains your health, and it provides with you with a lot of many other functions that helps your body. Now, food as a substance, food is something that without food, as human beings, we can't survive. We can only survive for about, let's say, 30 to 60 days without food. Anything beyond that, such an individual will die. Food is something that we all eat as human beings. We can't live without food. So food is very, very important to us as human beings to consume, because without food, we will not be able to carry out many other functions that we are supposed or expected to carry out. Now, there was a time I was taking this course in class, and a student of mine asked a very important question. That question, I love that question so much that I have it in mind. She asked me this question. She was like, I said, food is any substance. Does that mean that nutritional supplements are also food? Because mind you, nutritional supplements are substances. They are health products that are concentrated with some vitamins and minerals to nourish our body. So the question she asked was, since I said food provides nutritional support, and this nutritional supplement can provide us with some vitamins, minerals, and concentrated form of other nutrients, does it mean that they are also food? The answer is no. Nutritional supplements are not food. Drugs are not food. Why? Because we cannot survive on them for a long period of time. Nutritional supplements were produced for a specific purpose. They are meant to be taken in addition to our food. There are some instances that some people cannot get enough of certain nutrients, maybe because there's an issue with their body system. And so when they go to the doctors, they recommend some nutritional supplements for them. Pregnant women sometimes too, they recommend some supplements for them, and for many other reasons. But you find out that these supplements are recommended because of a particular reason. And when that is resolved, you should discontinue it. It is not something that you can take for life. It's not something that you are expected to take for life. Like you just keep taking it for as long as you are living. No. They are meant to serve a specific purpose. But when we talk of food, food is gotten naturally. Food is something that every human beings consume. And then they are able to do what? Support our body. So let's move to the next terminology, which is nutrients. Nutrients are chemical substances that are found in food and the body requires for energy, growth, repair, and overall function. Now, when we talk of nutrients, there are chemical substances that are found in food. That is a very important point to note. Now, let me give you an analogy. Consider nutrients like the fuel in a car. Let's assume you saved up money to buy a new car. Now you went to where they are selling the car. You've been eyeing this very fine car for a very long period of time, and eventually you saved the money to purchase the car. You went to where they are selling the car, you made payments, you did everything and the rest. Now it's time to take your car. You already bought it and it's your car. It's time to take your car home. But you discover that you spent all the money on you and there's no fuel inside that car. There's no fuel to move that car. As fine as that car is, no matter how fine or how fancy that car is, and no matter how excited you are, you will not be able to move that car from that place. Why? Because there's no fuel in your car. So it is exactly the same thing for food and nutrients. When you eat food, there are some chemical substances in that food that are being released into your body. It is those chemical substances that carry out the functions that our body needs. So do we understand it? You eat food, food contains nutrients. Those nutrients are the chemical substances that are carrying out the various functions that are going on in our body. Now, this function can either be that it will provide you with energy. There are some of these chemical substances that give you energy. That's their own function. Some of them, their function is to help you grow. That's their function. They repair your body. That's their function. We have those that protect our body. That's their function. So these chemical substances have different functions that they are carrying out in our body. And these chemical substances, don't forget, they are the nutrients that are found in food. So I believe we understand that definition now. So there are chemical substances found in food, and they can either help us to what? Grow, repair our body system, provide us with energy, and carry out a lot of other functions that are going on in our body. So if we move to the next slide, these are the nutrients. The nutrients are just six. We have carbohydrates, protein, fat, vitamin, mineral, and water. You can see the analogy. Carbohydrate foods, proteinous food, fatty foods, vitamins, minerals, and water. Let's not waste much time on this. Let's go to the next slide. Now, these nutrients are classified into two. They are classified into two major groups. We have the macronutrients and the micronutrients, and we have water standing alone in between. So let's explain what this diagram is. For the macronutrients, macronutrients, like the name implies, means nutrients that are needed in large quantities. From the word macro, macros means big, large, yes. So these are nutrients that our body needs in large quantity, and there are just three. We have carbohydrates, protein, and fat. Example of carbohydrate food: we have our rice, our bread, yam, potato, and so on. Proteinous food: we have what? Milk, we have egg, we have meat, we have fish, and so on. Then the fatty foods: we have avocado, we have olive oil, some nuts and seeds also provide you with fat, and so on. So the macronutrients are three. Remember, I said there are carbohydrates, protein, and fat. Let's go to the other classification of nutrients. They are the micronutrients. The micronutrients are nutrients that our body needs in small quantity. From the name micro, from the word micro, you already have an idea of what that means. Micro means small, minute, little, whichever one you want to call it. It just means that our body needs them in what? Smaller quantity. Now, don't get this wrong. Because our body needs them in smaller quantity does not mean that they are less important. So get that. Because we need them in small quantity. In fact, some of these vitamins and minerals, we need them in very small quantities, as small as microgram, like very, very small quantities. But the fact that we need them in small quantities doesn't mean they are less important. In fact, some of these vitamins and minerals, if we lack them in our body, we are going to go through a lot of health problems, a series of health challenges. So they are not less important. It's just because our body requires them in small amounts. And then the one standing in the middle is water. Yes, I'm sure you get that word. Water is life. Yes, really, water is life. Because our body as human beings is made up of, as an adult, your body is made up of 60% of water or more. And as a child or small children, they have higher percentage, as high as 70-80%. Their body is made up of as high amount of water as that. That is to tell you how important water is to our body. But it is not classified as micro or macro. It is just in between. But that is not to say that water is less important for the body. So let's move forward. Let's move on to the next terminology. The next terminology we have on this slide is nutrition. What is nutrition? Nutrition is the process by which living organisms obtain, assimilate, and utilize food and nutrients to support vital functions. Now, let's go over this definition to better understand it. Now, this definition says nutrition is a process. Let's stop there. The word process means that it is something that has to go through a series of stages. From the word process, process means something that has steps. It's not a one-time thing. It is not something that, you can just do it simultaneously, like immediately. No, it is a process. That means it has stages that it has to go through before nutrition is complete. So the word process is very important whenever you are defining nutrition, because it is not a one-time thing. It is the process by which living organisms obtain. That is one of the process of nutrition. Before nutrition can take place, you need to obtain your food. That is the first step in nutrition. Now, to obtain your food, how do you obtain your food? You either go to the market and buy your food. That's the first. If you are hungry now as a student, you want to eat, the first thing you want to do is to go to the market. Think of what to eat. Okay, what will I eat today? I want to eat rice. Then you look at your hostel, you don't have rice at home. What do? You pick out money from your bag and then you go to the market to go and buy the food. That is the process of doing what? Obtaining the food. So the first step in nutrition is to first get the food you want to eat. That's the first step, which is obtaining the food. Then the next one is what? Assimilate. Assimilate means the process by which you make something become a part of you. That's the meaning of assimilating. That means you are making that thing a part of you. You want to incorporate it into you. That is what assimilating means. Yes. So let's go back to our analogy. After buying your rice from the market, the next thing you do is to do what? You cook it. Is that not so? You cook your rice. Then after cooking your rice, you want to do what? You eat your rice. That is you assimilating the food. So when you cook your rice, you eat it. You take it into your body. Then after eating the rice, you do what? You digest it. Is that not so? Digestion is the process by which your body does what? Breaks down that food. Now that rice you have cooked and eaten, when it gets into your body will now begin to break it down. Yes, to break it down into smaller particles. Yes, to start to break down the food into smaller particles. Now, from the previous terminology that we looked at, I told you that when you eat food, then the chemical substances in the food are the things that help us to grow and carry out other functions. Now, in this process of nutrition, after obtaining your food, cooking your rice, yes, eating your rice, the next step is to do what? Digest your rice, which is breaking down your rice. Now, when it is broken down, your body releases the nutrients, which are the chemical substances, into your body. When those nutrients are released into your body now starts to do what? Utilize them. That means the one that will give you energy, your body will make use of it to quickly get what? Energy. The proteinous part, you are eating your rice with egg. The protein, the body will quickly use it to do what? To grow and repair other tissues that needs to be repaired. Then the fat and oil, the body also uses it for energy. The vitamins and minerals, the body uses it to do what? Protect you. So I hope we get the stages of this definition. It is the process by which living organisms obtain, assimilate, and utilize food and nutrients to support vital functions. So these nutrients now are now being used to carry out the functions that I mentioned. So I want us to paraphrase this definition now from what I have explained, from my rice analogy that I gave you. I said you go to the market and buy your rice, you cook your rice, you eat your rice, you digest your rice, abi which is breaking it down when it gets to your body, and then you use your rice. In another word, in a layman's language, you can even say nutrition is the process by which we obtain food, then also prepare our food, digest the food, and they absorb the food, and then what? Use the food to support vital function. This definition I'm giving you is not a one size fits all. You can choose to use your definition anyhow you want it to go. But it's just that you should make sure that the important points are written down. Whenever you are trying to explain it to someone, or whenever you are trying to like write a test or exam, make sure that you put the important points that needs to be in your definition. The definition of nutrition is not complete if you skip some of these vital steps. That is what I want you to understand. So it is a process. You get your food, you cook your food, you digest it, and then you utilize it to support vital function. That is nutrition as a process. Now let's look at nutrition as a science, because nutrition is also a science. You are a student of nutrition and dietetics. You are studying nutrition and dietetics as a course. The first one we looked at is nutrition as a process by which living organisms obtain food. The next definition I want to look at is nutrition as a science that is being studied by students of nutrition and dietetics. So what is nutrition as a science? Nutrition as a science is a pure science because it studies how food and its components interact with our body. Yes, nutrition is a pure science in the sense that it looks at food. I already said it in my introduction, that when you eat food, nutrition is concerned with, okay, this food I am eating, what is it doing to my body? It's not just for me to go out and see anything I eat. And that is what majority of people do. People eat for a lot of reasons. A lot of people just feel like, oh, I can just go out and eat whatever I want. Since I have the money, let me just go buy whatever I want to eat it. They are not even concerned with, okay, this food, is it good for me? Will it affect my health? They are not worried about this, is just to eat food. Fine, it is good to eat food. Yes. But nutrition as a science will look beyond that. It's look at, okay, this food I'm eating, is it good for my body? Will it benefit my body? Does it have an adverse effect on my body if I eat this food? So that is nutrition as a pure science. It looks at how food interacts with our body. Then you can also look at nutrition as a social science. Nutrition goes beyond, okay, food I eat, it will it benefit me, will it not benefit me, and so on. It is also a social science because it studies how and why people eat. Yes, that is another thing nutrition is concerned about. It is not just looking at, okay, the food will benefit me or not. It also studies people because people eat for a lot of reasons. It studies, okay, this particular region, this particular side of the country, they like to eat this particular food. Why? Nutrition will want to ask, okay, why do these people like to eat this food? How do they prepare this food? What is their motive or reason for eating this food? Let me give you an instance. Do you know people eat because of a lot of reasons? One, it can be cultural. People eat because of cultural reasons. They eat because it is their habit to eat. There are some homes that in their family, early in the morning, I have lived in a house that early in the morning, what they eat is bread. You can't contend it. Every morning, what they eat in their home is bread. It is an habit. That is what the family offer. Everybody already knows. Once you wake up in the morning, there's always bread at home. You eat bread. Later on, around 12, 1, 2, you may not eat something else. They cannot prepare something. But very early in the morning, what everybody takes in that house is bread. That's their habit. And you find out that they do that because I realized that they do that because bread is convenient. Early in the morning, it's very convenient for them to just pick up bread and eat. That is why they eat it. That's their habit. Another reason why people eat is because of religious beliefs. Yes, we have people that they don't believe in eating pork. Our Muslim counterparts, if they are a Muslim, they don't believe in eating pork. That is because of religious belief. You may find out that you may have a Muslim that loves pork, but because of his or her religion, because their religion forbids eating pork, they would never eat pork. Not because they don't like it, but because their religion forbids it. That is another reason why people eat. So you can see that people eat for a lot of reasons. Most times, people don't just eat. Sometimes you eat because your peers, you're amongst a certain group of people, and that is what they eat. Maybe you went out with your friends. You may never have eaten pizza before, but they just told you, okay, let's go out, let's go and enjoy ourselves and everything, and they ordered pizza. Even if you've not tasted pizza before, you will want to eat because, okay, your friends, everybody on the table, that's what they are eating. And you said that's another reason why people eat. So that is just to let you understand that nutrition is not only a pure science. It is not only concerned with, okay, food, health benefits, and so on. It's also concerned with the environment. Why do people eat? Our culture, our religion, and every other reason that is associated with why and how people eat what they eat. So let's move forward. The next terminology we want to look at is nutritionist. Who is a nutritionist? Yes, who is a nutritionist? As a nutrition student, of course, when you graduate, you are graduating to become a nutritionist. So it is only proper for you to know the meaning of nutritionist. And apart from that, nutrition student, you can go out and your mommy or your daddy that has not heard about this course before will say, okay, you're studying this course, so what does it even mean? We've not heard about this course before. Can you enlighten us? What are you going to tell them? Why you tell them that you want to become? So who is a nutritionist? A nutritionist is a professional who provides general advice and guidance on food, nutrition, and dietary habits to promote health. Yes, not the word professional. A nutritionist is a professional. That word professional is very important in this definition. Why am I emphasizing on professional? Because if you go out today, we have a lot of self-made nutritionists. There are a lot of them out there. We have a lot of them on social media, on blogs. You see them telling you, even that one is even far-fetched. Let's give a more relatable example. When you are in the car, not these now buses in Lagos, when you are inside those cars, you will just see somebody come to you and say, take this medicine. If you use it, you can use it for hypertension. This one causes diabetes. One drug will to cure hypertension. The same drug will cure diabetes. The same drug will cure diarrhea. In fact, they call it gbogbo nise in your balance, a drug or a medicine that treats all illnesses, which is not so. So you find out that a lot of people are self-made nutritionists. They come online and give you advice, say eat this, don't eat this. People that are not even worthy of coming out to tell you such. There are a lot of misleading information out there on the blogs or social media all around you. So who is a nutritionist? A nutritionist is a professional. That is why I am emphasizing on that word professional. A professional means somebody that is certified in that field of nutrition that can give you a legal advice, an advice that when you take it, you are sure that you are not taking a wrong advice, you are not doing a wrong thing. So just like you are, I don't know if you are in polytechnic or in university or anyone, by the time you come out, you are a professional. You are now a nutritionist. Why? Because you've gone through a form of formal study. You are now certified to practice or to portray yourself as a nutritionist. So a nutritionist is a professional who provides general advice. Yes, a nutritionist gives general advice. They talk to large groups of people. They can go to a particular community and give them advice. They can even talk to an individual person and give them advice on what? On food, nutrition, and dietary habits. So they tell people, okay, do this, don't do this to promote your health. So that is what nutritionists do. That is their function. Now let's go to the next terminology, which is nutritional care. Nutritional care is the application of the science of nutrition in helping people select and obtain food for the purpose of nourishing their bodies. Yes, it is the application of the science of nutrition. So that knowledge that you have as a nutritionist, after graduating, after finishing your ND or HND, or even while studying in school, you already have a form of knowledge more than somebody that is a layman on the street. You have a form of knowledge more than somebody that is just going on the street giving nutrition advice. So the process of you applying that knowledge that you know is called nutritional care. Let me give you an analogy. Let's say you're at home. Probably your mommy likes to cook with 10 or 12 Maggi because she does not know better. But now you're a nutrition student and you go home and say, mommy, you're in school. They taught us that it's not good to eat a lot of Maggi. It's not good to cook with a lot of salt. This is what you should do. This is what you should do. You have applied that knowledge that in that sense, because you already corrected your mom. You know better, so you've told her what to do. That is application. You already applied that knowledge, into letting your mom know that, okay, too much Maggi is not good for you. Too much salt is not good for you. So the application of that science of nutrition in helping people select and obtain food for the purpose of nourishing their body is known as nutritional care. By the time you are now advising your friend, the time you are now helping your mom or your grandmother at home, you are already carrying out what? Nutritional care, because you are already applying that knowledge that you know. So that is nutritional care. Let's go to the next terminology, which is nutrition education. What is nutrition education? It is a planned approach to providing people with knowledge, skills, and motivation to make informed food and lifestyle choices. Nutritional education and nutritional care, in a way, they are similar. But it is just that nutrition education is more like a formal thing. It is something that is planned and prepared for. That's the difference between nutritional care and nutrition education. Nutritional care, like I give you the example, you can just see your mom, your friend, talk to them. That's you applying nutritional care. You've dealt them in that way. But nutrition education is something that you plan. Probably, okay, there's Igbora community. You have noticed that in that village, most of their pregnant women, they don't know what to do. They don't know the kind of food to eat. Or even the ones that have smaller children, lactating mothers, they don't nourish or feed their children well. You've identified a problem in that particular community. Now, for nutrition education, you are going to now go back and sit down and plan. What's your strategy? What's your approach? How do you want to address this problem in that community? So that people there, by the time you finish your nutrition education, you want to come out, you want to make sure that people can now make informed food and lifestyle choices. Informed in the sense that you've given them that knowledge. You've talked to them, you've gone to the community, you've talked to them, probably done food demonstration. Yes, that is the aspect of skill. You've done food demonstration. Lactating mothers, these are the food you should give your children. You went there, you cook that food. You can make pap for your children. You teach them how to make the pap. That is a skill that you've taught them. So by the time you leave that village now, they are already equipped with that skill. They are now able to do what? Make that pap the way you have taught them. So the purpose of nutritional education is to help people to make informed food and lifestyle choices. Now, because they have that information, because you've gone to that village and talked to them before, because you've taught them how to make the pap, they now have that knowledge, so they can make informed choices. They now know that, okay, this is a wrong way to make my pap. I should make my pap this way. No, this food is wrong. Because before, they may not have that knowledge. They may not have that idea that it is wrong. But after your education, that informed choice must be there. That's the impact that your nutrition education has on them. So like I told you, the difference is just that nutrition education is planned. You cannot want to go to a community or want to educate people in maybe an hospital clinic and not have a strategy. You have to map out what you want to do. Okay, I go to them, I introduce myself. This is what I want to talk about. This is how we are going to go about it, and so on. Probably you take your colleagues that want to also help you to talk to them, and so on. So that is what nutrition education is all about. Now let's go to the next terminology, which is diet. What is diet? Diet is the pattern of food and drink that is regularly consumed by an individual or group. In other words, we can say that diet is a food that you eat on a day-to-day basis. That is your diet. Any food that you consume regularly is what? Your diet. Not in that definition, it says pattern. When you say something is a pattern, that means it is something that has been occurring regularly. You cannot call something a pattern if it is something that happens just once. No, that is not a pattern. For example, now, if you have a friend, you observed or you studied that friend, you have a close friend, you start to study that your friend, that it's like this, my friend. Probably you are living, that friend is your roommate, or you are squatting with him. If you go and squat with someone, it is only normal for you to observe that person and see that, okay, it's like this person, when he wants to sleep or when he wants to go out, he does not like to on the light. So you study him and do what? Off the light anytime you are going out. It's not everything that person will tell you. So you as someone that is coming to live with you, are the one that will start to study that this person does not like this thing. You try to adjust so that you don't do what? Overstep your boundary. You understand? You cannot go to someone's house and just behave anyhow. It's not possible. You try to watch them. And it's like these people like to pray around 8 o'clock. Okay, when it's 8 o'clock, even if you are in your room, you try to come to the parlor so that you can pray. They don't have to start calling you that come or prayer time because you've studied them. So living with somebody, you need to observe them, know their pattern. When they are going out, this is what they do. When they want to cook, this is how they cook it. When they are doing this, this is what they do. That is their pattern. So the same thing applies to your diet. The kind of food that you like to eat or that you eat on a regular basis is your diet. Probably in the morning, you like to eat rice. In the afternoon, eba. In the night, bread. The next day, you eat bread in the morning. Afternoon, you eat eba. In the night, rice. You can observe that it's still the same food. It's just the time the person ate it that is different, but it's still the same food that the person ate. You ate bread in the morning today. Tomorrow you are eating bread at night. Today you ate eba in the morning. Tomorrow you are eating what? Indomie at night. Next tomorrow you are eating indomie in the morning. You will observe that it is still the same food. It is not the time that it is being eaten that is different. So such a person, we can say that, okay, rice, indomie, noodles is the pattern of food that the person likes to consume. That is his or her diet. So the kind of food that you eat on a regular basis is your diet. Now, the later part says that it can be tailored to suit a specific purpose. Yes, I'm sure you would have heard that word all over the internet. I'm on diet. Some people say I'm on diet. Yes, you hear people say I'm on diet, especially people that are fat or people that don't want to add weight. You hear them say I'm on a diet. I'm on a diet, meaning that they are on a diet. They're watching their food. They don't want to add weight. So a diet can be tailored to suit a specific purpose. That food that person likes to eat, you can now tailor it to suit a specific purpose or to achieve a goal. Probably now this person is fat. The person comes to you for advice. You ask the person, okay, what do you like to eat on a regular basis? I eat pizza, I eat rice, I eat milk, I eat this. You get all the food the person likes. This is that food the person likes to eat that you will now modify. You will now tailor to suit that goal of weight loss. You don't go outside. Somebody that has never eaten pizza before and now comes to you that want to lose weight. You can't say avoid pizza. Why? The person does not even eat pizza on a normal day. So you walk around the things that the person likes to eat. So you can tailor a diet for a specific purpose. So we have weight loss diet, we have ketogenic diet, we have diabetic diet, hypertensive diet, a lot of diet like that. Do we understand? So you can tailor it to say that, okay, when you remove salt or too much salt from your food, that means you are tailoring it towards hypertension. Do we understand that? So let's move to the next terminology. The next terminology we want to look at is dietetics. What is dietetics? Dietetics is the practical application of the science and art of nutrition, the management of health and diseases. Yes, dietetics, nutrition, nutritionist, dietitian. What's the difference? The difference in nutrition and dietetics is the fact that nutrition will only give you a general advice on something. It will only tell you that, okay, too much salt is not good for you. But dietetics will take it further to say, okay, too much salt is not good for you. A dietitian will not give you a diet plan. She will now sit down and say, okay, eat this, don't eat this is what you should take, this is what you should take. That's the difference. While a nutritionist gives you a general advice, a dietitian will give you a diet plan to say, okay, take this diet plan, follow it, eat it at so time. When it's also time, take this. When it's also like, take this to achieve that particular goal. So that's the difference. So the practical application of the science of nutrition in the management of health and diseases is what is called dietetics. Dietetics deals majorly with the management of diseases. Nutrition may not be about disease management sometimes. You can just advise people generally. There are people that are not sick, they don't have an ailment, and they still need nutritional advice. They'll just come to you as a nutritionist. Okay, I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm not sick, I don't have a disease, but I want to learn more about healthy eating. Yes, as a nutritionist, you can advise them, okay, healthy eating is all about this and this and this. You can tell them about that. But when it comes to dietetics deals majorly with the management of disease. So that means the person coming to you is already sick or already has an underlying ailment, or there's a condition that he or she wants to manage. Dietetics is all about the management, the prevention of diseases. So there's already a disease that you want to manage with what? Dietetics. That's the difference. Now let's go to dietitian. A dietitian is a licensed nutrition expert or professional, not the word license. When we're defining nutrition, we say nutritionist is a professional. But now a dietitian is a licensed nutrition expert, not the word license. For you to be a dietitian, you must be licensed. If you are not licensed, you cannot practice as a dietitian. And if you are caught, you can be sued because you don't have the authority to practice as one. So for you to be licensed, let's come to our level. For you to be licensed, what do you need to do? As a student, you're in ND, you're in HND, good for you. You finish your course, probably you are doing your BSc, you finish your course in school. Once you finish, after finishing, then you must go for your compulsory 1 year industrial training. So that 1 year industrial training is very important, and is usually done with a recognized government hospital. So your industrial training is done with a government or a recognized. It can also be a private hospital that is well recognized by the government. So you do your compulsory 1 year industrial training, after which you write your professional exam. Now, after writing that exam, you must pass that exam. If you write your exam and you pass, then you will be given your license to practice as a dietitian. Without doing all of that, you are not a dietitian. You are just a nutritionist. So after your BSc now, you may decide to remain as a nutritionist. It's all fine and good. There are people that they just want to be a nutritionist. They don't have flair for becoming a dietitian. It is very good. But if you know you want to become a dietitian, it is compulsory for you to go for your industrial training and get your license. Note it, I'm emphasizing on it. You must get your license to practice as a dietitian. So it applies the principles of food science and nutrition to promote health. That's the first one. You want to improve health. It may be that you want to improve somebody's health. That's one. Prevent diseases. Yes. Somebody may have gone to the hospital and they may have noticed that, oh, this person, this your blood pressure is on the rise. So they may just diagnose you of pre-hypertension. It may be that you've not had hypertension, but you are getting there. Now you need to see a dietitian to help you prevent that disease from happening, so that you don't develop that hypertension eventually. You see your dietitian, sit together. Okay, look at my results. What do we do? So the dietitian will now sit down and say, okay, let's do it like this. You need to manage your food. You need to eat this. Make sure you eat like this, so that disease will not eventually happen. That is to prevent disease. The disease is not there, but we are working towards it so that it will not eventually do what? Happen. Another one is what? To manage disease. It may be that the person already has the disease. Yes, the hypertension is already there. Dietitians also manage it. Okay, the person may have renal disease, that's kidney disease. Most times, kidney disease are just what? They are being managed. So the dietitian will also work together to ensure that at least this person has a longer years to live on earth. That's to do what? To manage disease and to improve overall. They also deal with what? General well-being of people. Yeah, so that's all for today's class. In today's class, let me quickly go over what we did. In today's class, I introduced the concept of Human Nutrition and Dietetics to us. I explained to us what Human Nutrition and Dietetics is all about. Then we talked about some terminologies. We talked about food. We talked about nutrients. We looked at the types of nutrients we have. We talked about the classification of nutrients into macro and micronutrients. We looked at the definition of nutrition as a process and as a science. Then we talked about a nutritionist, who a nutritionist is. We talked on nutritional care, nutrition education. We discussed on diet, dietetics, and who a dietitian is. I hope you've learned a lot from today's class. I will implore you to take everything you have learned and make sure you go over them again. And I'll see you in the next class.